We all feel like we know the internet, right? It's this place that's all mapped out for us by Google and our other favorite search engines. But what if I told you that map only shows a tiny, tiny fraction of the actual territory? Well, today we're going off road. We're diving into the internet's hidden corners.
Just think about that for a second. Every single search you've ever done, every website you've ever clicked on through a search engine, what if all of that is just the visible tip of a truly massive digital iceberg?
Well, it is. Because beneath that surface, we all know, there's this vast, unindexed world that's been hidden on purpose. And in this explainer, we are going to pull back the curtain on this hidden digital universe.
Okay, so our journey starts with understanding that most of the internet is basically this huge, unseen ocean. Now, this includes the deep web. That's stuff like your private email or your online banking pages. And then there's a much smaller, way more mysterious part called the dark web.
So, how does this hidden part of the internet even work? How does it stay completely off the grid? Let's break down the really clever tech that makes the whole thing possible.
It really all starts with the web address itself. This is not your typical .com you see every day. That .onion at the end is a dead giveaway that you're looking at a site specifically designed to hide its location. And you can't just pop this into your normal browser. You need a special key to unlock that door. And that key is software like the Tor browser.
And here's the fundamental difference. On the regular web, your IP address is basically like a digital license plate. Every single site you visit can see exactly where you're coming from. The dark web, though, it uses a totally decentralized system to completely mask that identity. It's like driving a car with no plates.
And this is how it does that masking. The software is called Tor, which stands for the Onion Router, and for a very good reason. Your request gets wrapped up in all these layers of encryption, just like an onion. Then it gets bounced between a bunch of random computers all over the planet. By the time your request actually gets to the website, its original source is completely and totally untraceable. It's pretty brilliant.
So what we have here is this incredible tool for total anonymity. But, and this probably won't surprise you, it is a massive double-edged sword. It creates a world of really stark contrasts.
See, on one hand, it's an absolute lifeline. For journalists working in authoritarian countries, for activists, for whistleblowers, the dark web gives them a secure way to talk and share information without being terrified of being tracked. It's a really vital tool for freedom. But on the flip side, that exact same anonymity creates a massive shadow economy. This is the notorious side of the dark web we always hear about. These anonymous marketplaces for all kinds of illegal goods, hacking services, you name it.
And that's the absolute crucial point here. The technology itself doesn't pick a side. The very same feature that protects a human rights activist is the exact same one that shields a criminal. That right there is the core dilemma of the dark web. So this brings us to a really practical question. If it's not indexed by Google, how in the world does anyone find anything? Let's take a look at how people actually get around in these hidden spaces. Right, so if there's no Google for the dark web, how does it work? Are people just kind of stumbling around in the dark, hoping they land on the right page? Well, not exactly. The answer is directories. You can think of them like phone books, or maybe very sketchy maps for the dark web. There are sites like darkweblinks.org that exist on the normal internet, and their entire job is to try and list these hard-to-find .onion addresses. But, and believe me, this is a huge but, you have to be so careful. This quote from the Tor community really says it all. You should always assume every link posted is a phishing link. That is a pretty stark warning about how little trust you can actually put in these so-called maps. And here's exactly why. First, the dark web is always changing, so links go dead all the time. On top of that, there's a real risk of corruption. Some of these directories might even take bribes to promote scam sites. So the bottom line is, there is absolutely no guarantee of safety when you click on one of these links. Which brings us to our final and honestly probably the most important section of this whole thing. Let's talk about a traveler's guide to staying safe in these digital shadows. First things first, you have got to understand the risks. You've got malware designed to take over your computer, scams everywhere on unregulated marketplaces, and of course, the very real legal trouble you can get into for viewing or interacting with illegal content. So, this is your essential safety checklist. Step 1 is absolutely non-negotiable. You have to use the Tor browser, no exceptions. Then you should add a VPN and good antivirus software for another layer of protection.
This should go without saying, but never, ever share any personal info. And finally, do your homework before you click and make sure you know the laws where you live.
And all of this leaves us with one final, really crucial question. The technology behind the dark web offers nearly perfect anonymity. So, is that a fundamental human right, something essential for freedom in our modern world? Or is it an inherently dangerous liability that just enables the worst parts of human behavior? The answer isn't simple, and it's definitely something worth thinking about.